2005 Chrysler 300C with the 5.7 HEMI, and this vehicle has blown head gaskets, so we're going to go ahead and start pulling these heads. There might be other videos, like I might make a video about removing the intake manifold, stuff like that. So if you're watching this for other reasons, just know that this same video may appear under other titles. So I apologize about the confusion, but everything you need will be in this video. Other than that, let's get to it. Alright, let's start isolating the intake manifold. We're going to need to disconnect the fuel, which is located right back here. Pretty easy to do. You just grab these two prongs, squeeze them together until you hear clicking, and then wiggle it up. If it's been a while since it's been removed, which is probably the case, it helps to push it down first, then squeeze, and then you'll be able to lift it up, relieving the pressure. Go ahead and disconnect the coil packs. They have safety tabs on them, the red pieces. Just go ahead and pull those out. Some of them might be stuck, so go ahead and grab yourself a flathead screwdriver. Just be careful not to break them. Sensor. This sensor has a slide lock on it. Just slide it back and you'll be able to remove it. And I was hoping I wouldn't have to remove the harness, but it looks like I will have to. This little plastic thing is here for your spark plug wires. You see I have aftermarket spark plug wires on these. You just have to pop these little stays on there. They are for your engine cover, which mine is in the trunk. Start prying up on the harness. And move it out of the way. Disconnect the injectors. Go ahead and remove your throttle body connector. It's the same slide lock, squeeze, and give a gentle pull. And then right down here, which I'm pretty sure is your, right there, this sensor right here is your coolant temperature sensor. Move that out of the way. Wire that runs down the front of the engine connecting to your AC compressor, which I probably won't be able to get to that just yet. I'm going to need to remove the intake, so let's do that next. Especially seeing as how your mass airflow sensor has been disconnected. Go ahead and unscrew this hose clamp, and then we can unlock the box while lifting up and pull your air hose out from the side of your intake manifold so this all come out as one big piece. Definitely need a new air filter. And this piece, it looks like there's supposed to be a bolt right here, but mine's missing. So this is just going to pull right out for me. And now we have access down to our AC compressor. You can see our sensor is located right here. You can just pull that tab up. It's on like a little metal brace. It's easily bendable. Just push that safety clip out. Squeeze and unplug the AC compressor. And stuff the harness out of the way. And don't go crazy with these because it's grounded right here in the back and you don't want to pull anything. Just try to stuff it out of the way so it's not going to get caught up on anything. Next, we have a vacuum hose right here at the front. I don't think yours will have a hose clamp, but mine does, so just be wary of that. And we can stuff that out of the way too. In the back of the intake manifold, right back here, we have a sensor. It has the same red safety clip. Just give it a pull. And it'll pop right off. Next, we can go ahead and remove our EGR valve piping. This is the pipe that takes the exhaust fumes from the exhaust system and puts a little bit back into your intake for the EPA. Completely pointless and actually makes the vehicle run worse, but whatever. I actually don't think I need to unplug that sensor. Might need to later, but I'll cover that later. It looks like that wire runs down to the back of the alternator. So to remove that pipe, you can look right here. Looks like the back of the EGR pipe is held in with two 8mm bolts. I got a 3-inch extension with a swivel head on it. These are very useful. You can find these anywhere. It's got a little cuts on it so that you have about 5 degrees of swivel. An adapter to bring it down from 3/8 to 1/4 inch and an 8mm socket. I just hope it's not too long. And it looks like that's going to be exactly my issue. So let's try it without the 3-inch extension. First bolt. Second bolt. And there will be a gasket down here with it. And as you pull it out, you'll be pulling it out of the intake manifold as well. Looks like my gasket is just connected to the EGR valve, which is just fine. I'm okay with that. The bolts on the intake manifold are 8mm. For this, I'm going to be using a 4-inch swivel extension and a stubby 8mm. Looks like there's going to be 5 bolts on each side. That our intake manifold is now removable. Nope, got a wire in the back. Let's take a look. Looks like in the back of the intake manifold, there's a single vacuum line. It doesn't feel like it has a hose clamp on it, so I think we just need to pull it off. I need to switch hands though. There it goes. Oh, I dropped the hose. There we go. So there is the hose right there. It just connects in the back. It's pretty easy to find. Probably is not going to look good on camera though, but I believe in you guys. All right, and with that, we can just pick up our intake manifold and move it out of the way. And that's pretty much all there is to it for the intake manifold. Let's go ahead and remove our coil packs, and then we can remove our valve covers. Looks like there was a ground right here, but it wasn't connected to anything. There's one on this side too. Interesting. Each coil pack is held in with 2 10mm bolts. Before taking those off, you can go ahead and pull your spark plug wire out so it's out of the way. And remove your coil pack. What I like to do when I start getting an assortment of bolts so that I don't get them confused is I get myself little lunch baggies. I write coil bolts on it for the coil. And I just put all those bolts in the baggie. And I do that with pretty much everything so that I don't get any of the bolts mixed up later. And before I forget, these 2 EGR valve hose bolts, I'm going to go ahead and thread those back into the EGR before I lose them. I guess my air compressor is running out of air. Alright. Do the same thing to this side. Now we've got all the coil pack bolts. Go ahead and seal that up. And wherever you're going to be storing your coil packs, just put that baggie with them. Valve covers are being held on with 8mm bolts. So I'm just going to be using an adapter to bring my 3/8 electric ratchet down to a 1/4 inch and have my 8mm deep socket on it. And it looks like I'm going to have difficulty down there. Now for these bolts with the little ground on them, I'm going to make sure that I keep that ground attached to these bolts so I don't lose them. Just remember that they're exactly in the middle. They're the middle bolt because you have 5 bolts on top and 5 bolts on bottom for a total of 10 bolts per valve cover, and it's right in the middle on the top, so you can't really mess that up. Get ourselves another baggie and start putting our valve cover bolts inside of them. looks like somebody started doing a little bit of work on these valve covers and then stopped. Or just didn't feel like putting them all back in, I guess. Not too sure. And again, it looks like my electric ratchet won't reach down there, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and get a regular ratchet. Even this is a little short. This thing is loose. Whoever put this valve cover back on just was fucking around and not put these back down right. They did all the easy ones. The one in the back is off too. I can just reach down here and grab this. Well, now I'm concerned because somebody's taken this apart prior to me working on it, and I hate working after other people. It looks like the middle one's the only one that was put down properly. Alright. And there's our first valve cover. I got a little bit of play right there. That's normal. Anyway. The off-center push rod, that's interesting. Anyway. Go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Looks like I'm going to need to, I'm not going to remove it, but I am going to take the bolts off of it so I can move it. Take the bolts off of your coolant reservoir. I can sort of move this whole thing out of the way, lift it up a little bit. It might actually work out really well, actually. That might be exactly what I need. Can I use my electric ratchet? I can! Fantastic. Alright, and there's our second valve cover. Before you go pulling anything up, just go ahead and pull out all your bolts. Because you'll put this somewhere and a week later when you get your heads back from the shop, you'll go to install these and one will be freaking missing. I don't know how it happens. It's just the way of the car gods. It's what they find amusing. And again, got our V cover bolts. Seal them up. Oh, the power steering pump was attached to the head on this side? I didn't realize that. Huh. Well, that's dumb. It's not actually dumb. I just don't like it. It means more work. I don't like more work. I like less work. Alright, looks like we'll be removing the drive belt. Got our belt tensioner tool, which honestly you really don't need. Any 3/8 ratchet at this point, you'll have more than enough room to grab it. And take that belt off. I'm just going to tuck the belt out of the way. Hopefully not removing it from too many things. And now it looks like our power steering pump is held in with probably 1, 2, 3 3 10mm bolts, and they don't have any freaking holes. No, they do have a hole in the pulley. Yes, thank goodness. Using the hole in the pulley. Holy crap! Oh, my back. Just keep spinning that pulley around until the hole lines up with the bolts. God dang, I just wasn't expecting these to be on that tight. And then just feed them through the holes and pull them out the front. You're watching me do it. It ain't hard. Last one's a little bit hidden, but you'll figure it out. It's underneath where the hoses go in. It's just hard to see. But you can put your hand back here and feel it. Use that to line it up. And the power steering pump is now free. Feed that last bolt through the hole. And then take these bolts and put them inside of a sandwich bag that says power steering pump on it. Power steering pump. You can see these 2 coolant lines running both sides. There's small brackets that go to the back of them, on the back of each head. They're held on with 10mm bolts. The best way to do this is with a 10mm gear wrench. That'll be a massive bolt, 10 inches. Go ahead and break that bolt loose. It's actually going to be the nut, but you're going to be removing these little sensors off of here. That nut removed, go ahead and remove your little sensor and your ground wire. And then there'll be another 10mm nut that holds the actual bracket on. Mother of God. They don't need to be like that. It ain't that serious. Alright. What I'm going to do, because these are obviously pretty unique, I'm going to put that nut back on the bolt for a couple threads, and I'm going to take both of them and put them in their own baggie. Sandwich baggies are awesome, I tell you. You can get like 300 of them for like $5. And they're very useful. It looks like my harness is going to be in the way a little bit. I'm going to move that over there. Nut, remove the ground wire. How is a 10mm bolt down that hard? That's freaking crazy. All right. I don't know who put these bolts in, but they were a dick. And again, take this bolt and this bolt, and they're getting their own baggie. It looks like I have to remove the rocker guides after all, so I'm going to go ahead and just put a 1, 2, 3, 4 on them. That way I know exactly where they go and how they go back in. With those removed, we can go ahead and remove our push rods. The only other thing that would be in the way would be the EGR valve right here, but it's not going to be in the way to the point where I need to take it off now. Once I get the head removed, I can undo it then, but this connector does need to come off. I'll go ahead and pull that out and remove that, and that should just about be all that we need. I'm going to start with the 5 10mm bolts up top. Oh. And this one back here. Oh, it's just barely too short. Put my extension on there with my little swivel extension. Collect these, and you can put them in a plastic baggie if you want. I don't know if these ones are replaced, but I know that the major head bolts are replaced, so you don't need to keep your head bolts. But I am going to hold on to these because I'm unsure whether these are replaced or not. And I would suggest you all do the same. Alright. Alright. Looks like the head bolts are 15 millimeters. I'm going to go ahead and use myself a 6-inch extension with the universal joint and my deep 15. I'm hoping that that will be sufficient. I can just use my impact for all of them and just get this over with. Bottom bolts, because you're not going to be able to see them too well, just line up to where the top bolts are. They're right across the head from them. With the heads free, the only thing left to do is to remove the exhaust system, and we'll pull the heads out. And we'll pull the heads out with the exhaust manifolds attached to them. Alright, underneath the vehicle, we can see our catalytic converters going up to the exhaust headers, and right here, one bolt, and on top you can see the other bolt right there. They are 16 millimeters. I'm going to hit them all with some PV Blaster. I'll let them soak for a little bit, and we'll be back to remove them. Alright, again 16 millimeter. Nice. It looks like these have got nuts on them to keep a heat shield secured. Go ahead and move that out of the way. Guess what you're gonna do with these nuts? You're gonna put them in a plastic baggie. Yeah. Ooh. Wasn't ready for the exhaust system to drop that much, but we're good to go. Sorry for the bad camera angle. Holding my tripod while working on cars is a new talent I'm working on mastering. Alright, so when you're done, you'll have 6 nuts. I gotta find my other one. I lost a nut. And that heat shield. Put them in a plastic baggie. And let's go ahead and pull these heads. Alright, so the O2 sensor is on this side of the exhaust manifold, which I was not aware of. Shocker. Find that same connector for the O2 sensor on this side. Disconnect, see? Yeah, nice and easy. That one came off. I love that. Alright guys, upon further inspection, it looks like we have a way worse situation than head gaskets. That thing is getting, that piston is done. That's strange because it drove smooth. There was no issues with it driving or anything, but it looks like something was just in here knocking around and did a bunch of damage. Shit. Alright. Well, I don't know if there'll be a part 2 of this video after all. I might just find an engine and swap it in there. But whatever I end up doing, I will keep you guys updated. And, you know, the usual. If this video helped you out, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.